Okay. Dumelang, good morning, how are we? The thing that's really good. Yeah, wonderful. Leader Lamike Pako Moshaga. I come from Talita Kumi Consulting. Talita Kumi Consulting, we do three things. We do coaching, we do consulting, and we do training. Coaching in the areas of interviews, job interviews, media interviews as well as how to build your personal brand. And you also train in the areas of personal development, and you also consult for teams in terms of team engagements, team buildings, team motivation, and the likes. It's something that we've been doing for the past 6 years. We started just before COVID, and you can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, and on LinkedIn under my name, Pako Moshaga, and on TikTok as well. So today I want us to have a brief conversation, a very relaxed conversation. It's a Friday after all, so I want us to be all at ease. I want to start with one question. Who here believes they are amongst the smartest people in the room? Who here believes they are amongst the smartest people in the room? You can raise any one of your hands. You believe you are amongst the group of the smartest people. Okay, I see one hand. See two, three. Okay, a few hands, okay. A few hands, that's great. And the reason why I start off with this question is because perception is an important thing, especially self-perception. So the way that you view yourself is very important. And your self-perception manifests in the form of how you speak about yourself, how you speak about other people, and how you carry yourself. The way that I'm dressed today is partly because of how I see myself. I regard this outfit to be in line with the level of self-worth that I have for myself. And so self-perception is basically the root of your self-worth and your self-respect. I'm sure you've seen this. It's hard for other people so people will treat you based on the level that they see you treat yourself. If you put yourself here, we'll also treat you at that level. However, you force us to also come up to that level as well. And so your self-perception is the foundation of your self-worth and your self-respect. And the reason why it matters is that in the workplace, we interact with each other. We raise our hands for opportunities and for different things. And you only raise your hand for an opportunity if you believe that you can actually do it. If you don't think you can do it, you won't raise your hand. Which is why it's important to have a healthy relationship with yourself. We always talk about having a good relationship with our partners, our parents, our kids, and our friends. But we really talk about the type of relationship that you have with yourself. Hi, Lord, when your partner, la mana, wamonga like it, amonga whole day, wamo blocker or whatever you do. If you live together, how's an paying on nakwa and on nakwa? So you just avoid them. But if you're upset with yourself, what do you do? Because you're upset with yourself. And if you're upset with yourself, it builds up internal conflict within you. And that internal conflict means you're angry with yourself, and it affects how you deal with other people as well. Because issue isn't with others, but it's with you internally. An example is this. So years ago, I used to be quite overweight. I used to be very big. And I used to tell myself that, you know what, today is the last time I get a KFC. Change. You know. Then Kamuso comes, I find myself either having wings or can I pizza, can I sing hell, you see? And so I'd get upset with myself to say, I made a promise to myself for what was the last time. Yet here I am today doing the same thing again. And that led me to be upset with myself. So that's an example of an interaction that we have with ourselves, right? And so in building up yourself, perception, you need to treat yourself with respect. See yourself as a person who is worthy to be respected, as a person that has a high level of self-worth. So treat yourself like someone, like a third party that you respect. The way that you talk to yourself matters. That daily conversation that we have in our heads, it matters. If you go through an instance of failure, maybe you're given a task, how do you talk to yourself afterwards? How do you address yourself? Or do you encourage yourself? Because the quality of that conversation determines your level of self-confidence. If you are always beating yourself up, then you constantly bring yourself down, and it will affect all areas of your life, in the workplace, in your personal life, in your business, at church, wherever you are. It will affect how you show up, because we show up based on the quality of conversations we have with ourselves. Hence why it's important for you to be kind towards yourself. So there's a difference between being soft on yourself and being kind towards yourself. What you want to do is to be kind. And kind means being understanding, being compassionate towards yourself. Often, we tend to be quite compassionate, We might be firm, but ultimately we try and be understanding. But if it's you that made the mistake, we tend to be very harsh on ourselves. We beat ourselves down, we beat ourselves up. But it's important that you have an element of kindness towards yourself to say, you know what, I made a mistake here. Next time I'll do better. Why did I make the mistake? What was the issue? Was there any challenge that was in my control that I didn't control? Or were there factors outside of my space that I couldn't control but I wasn't aware of at the time? It's important that when you make a mistake, you sit down and reflect what happened. What was my area of control? All of us here have an area of control when you're given a task. There are certain factors that are fully in your hands, but then there are those that are outside of your hands. And so when you make a mistake, you reflect and say, okay, did I control everything that was in my space, or did I become relaxed? Did I overlook something? Did I forget something? Or were there factors outside of my control that took place that I couldn't affect myself? Sit down, reflect, and say, what happened? Why did it happen? Could I have done better? If I could have done better, next time I'll do better. Failure is an instant in time. It's not something that defines you. It's something that happens. It happens today. Tomorrow is a new day. So you learn from the failure and then you do things differently. And the reason why I wanted us to start off with self-perception is because in the workplace, self-perception is the foundation of how we deliver at work. It's the foundation of how we show up in the workplace. And in the workplace, the key thing that you want to do is that you want to deliver value in the office. You want to do your job, yes, but you want to deliver value. And why is value important? Value is important because opportunities are attracted by value. Where there's value, opportunities come. Where there's skill, where there's talent, where there's knowledge, opportunities come. A typical example is this. Let's say there are bosses in a boardroom and they're discussing an upcoming project. And they want to know, who can we choose to lead this project? So the names that come up, the names that are suggested are those of people that have shown value, that have shown a track record, that have shown that they have some kind of knowledge, some skill, some talent of some kind. And those are the names that come up. And you want to position yourself that when opportunities come up, you are top of mind. And that can only happen if you've built up value in yourself. The types of value are different. The most common one is knowledge. Knowledge means information, qualification. So you can amass qualifications, and that will increase your value. How can label the MD and the chairmen of most companies? Kibo doctor. And why is that? Because they've amassed knowledge, and that knowledge makes them valuable, and the value attracted that title of being chairman or MD. So that's one way to build up value in yourself, to get qualified, to get information, relevant qualifications, diverse qualifications as well. And the second type of value is your skills or your talent. So all of us here have something that we do quite well. Maybe you are good at doing reports or giving a talk, or maybe leading a team. There's some kind of skill that you excel at. So in building up your value, what's another skill? Or we're perfect, If you are good, that's fine. But if you are great or you're the best, that will make you above everyone else. Then the third type of value is social capital. And this one means you are good with people. You are good at leading teams, at dealing with different types of people, or you have a very wide network. I'm sure we all know someone who knows about. And that person has value. Their value is in who they know and having access to those people. So they are very helpful in that regard. And so those are three types of value that we have: knowledge-based qualifications, or skills-based, or social capital. And again, the importance of value is it draws opportunities. Opportunities will never come to you because you are just hardworking and that's it. They'll come to you because you are hardworking, but you also deliver something that other people cannot deliver. And so in building up your value, you need to first identify what is it that I naturally excel at. Highly dibuka, what's the name of dibuka? Highly skills, focus on that skill and become great at it. If it's social, work on those social skills again. So whatever type of value it is that you have, work on excelling in that area. And as you do that, you will get opportunities coming to you. So as you wrap up, just to summarize what we've touched on, and before we move to any questions and comments that you might have, we started off with self-perception. The way that you view yourself, how you think of yourself, how you speak to yourself is important because it's the foundation of your self-worth and your self-confidence. We also looked at value in the workplace, that value is what draws opportunities to you. Then we looked at the different types of value, being knowledge-based, skills-based, or social capital. Then we looked at also how to build up that value, that you identify that value, and you come up with an action plan on how to increase yourself in that space. This might mean finding a coach who's good in that area, or finding someone in the workplace who's good at that skill, and ask them, how do you become good at this? How do you become excellent at this? It's very important that you become teachable as a person. Always be teachable at whatever level you are in life. Be someone that can be taught. And when you're being taught, it means that sometimes you have to unlearn certain things that you took as the gospel, as the truth over the years. So be teachable. Be someone that's willing to unlearn certain things and learn new things. And that's how you'll constantly excel in life. So I wanted to touch on those few points and to say, after this talk, you might feel motivated, might feel excited, charged up to do something with your life, to do things differently. And that's great, but that's a feeling, and feelings fade, like we know. Come Jolo, feelings fade, I get. So they need to be charged up, I get. So you need to charge yourself up. So beyond this point, come up with a plan, a written down plan. Always write down your plan. Sort of, what am I going to do after what we discussed this morning? After what we heard this morning, what will I do from Monday? If you don't come up with a plan, then this talk was time not well spent for you. It wasn't beneficial for you if you don't come up with a plan. It'll just be another talk, another Friday. So by all means, do come up with a plan from here around all those gaps that you have and how you are going to fill them. And look for people, look for experts online. There are so many people online these days that give out good advice, whether it's Facebook or whether it's maybe YouTube. There are a lot of people that specialize in personal development that give out advice. So seek out those people, seek out those talks and those clips and hear them out, and your life will definitely change if you are willing to respect yourself. And with that, I'll open the floor to any questions, any comments that you might have from anyone. Any example that you want to give, perhaps, or a point you'd want us to go back to and unpack a bit further. Yes, sir.
How do you identify maybe it's a skill or maybe it's tacit knowledge, or it resides in someone's mind. So now, so how do you maybe identify?
Okay. Okay. So to identify a skill, Khanzi is other people that see it. When I want that you are very good at this thing, but when because we are people baba humbly, you know, rather humbly, very coba, you know, so we are very humble, but that works against us. Because how humbly, you don't gain any confidence in yourself. You always put yourself down, you always put yourself low. So Heinz is other people that can identify that you are really good at this thing. So people will give you feedback. Right again, I think you are doing quite well in this space. Last time you did well, that other time, even today, I think you should do something about this talent, about this skill. So that's the first thing that often we see. People will tell us, then it's upon us to receive that feedback positively and not shy away from it. Yeah. Anyone else with a comment or a compliment as well? Those are fine too. All right, last round for comments, questions. Please do ask questions. As I said, I'm a consultant, so usually when I talk to people one-on-one, I actually charge them. So do take this time to ask any questions, which would be free of charge. Okay, all right. If there are no questions, no comments, I thank you for taking the time. I thank you for the wonderful attention that you've given me throughout these past 30 minutes. And if you want more of my work, you can find me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, and Instagram as Pako Moshakga. So once again, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, sir. Thank you to the hosts for this time. And I bid you a good morning.